When his medical's next up, he's just thinking about that could be a good time to go. Here he comes, always entertaining.
Doncaster, Brad, the Phoenix Cousins.
Brad Cousins, another local fighter. 1 or 3 of his so far. Like Mellors, all of them over 4 rounds. His last fight sounded like an interesting one. He won 38-36 here against Gurpreet Singh. So that's 2-2 in rounds, but Singh was counted in the second and had a point deducted in the third. So plenty happened within the space of that 12 minutes. And this is what he does. Louis Van Poetsch just leaning on the top rope there, awaiting the arrival of his opponent. They're an entertaining team, aren't they? Team Bald, as they call themselves, Van Poetsch and Farnan.
Usually knocking around on social media, you can see Louis Van Poetsch's ring entrance from the night before, can't you? He always comes up with a theme, and he seems to have John Cena from the WWE today. I'm looking forward to seeing Bradley Cousins, though. He used to be a kitchen designer and packed it in to come and become a professional boxer, so let's see what he can put together tonight.
Introducing to you firstly in the blue corner in white shorts trimmed with orange. He weighed in at 12 stone, 10 pounds. Boxing this evening in his 166th professional contest from Lydney, Gloucestershire, Lewis Poochie Van Poetsch. And his opponent across the ring in the red corner, wearing black shorts trimmed with gold. He weighed in at 12 stone, 11 pounds, 2 ounces. He brings to the ring a perfect professional record of 3 wins from 3 contests. From Doncaster, Brad, the Phoenix Cousins. Your timekeeper at the bell is Peter Humphrey of Doncaster. Your referee is Rhys Carter from Cardiff. Referee Rhys Carter will now give both boxers final instructions.
Right, gents and professionals, you know the rules. Keep it clean, listen to my instructions, and defend yourself at all times. Good luck, shake hands.
Big height difference.
This is a light heavyweight contest scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds.
Pretty tall for a light heavyweight. You can get some tall guys boxing at this weight. He's not quite in the Shakan Pitters kind of league, but he's got a good few inches on Van Poetsch, that's for certain.
Just judging by the physical statures of both guys, you can pretty much work out the tactics, can't you? Know, Cousins is going to look to use that jab, stay busy. Pooch is going to try and walk him down, get close, and he's on a good run of form. Pooch, he's had a win and a draw, and if you're not on your game, he's more than capable of turning you over, isn't he? So we usually see him have a go for a round, don't we, to probe for any little weaknesses. So Cousins, as always with these journeymen, don't give him a sliver of hope, don't give him any opportunity, like that right hand there. Don't give him any foothold, you know, make your mark straight away.
Well, that's absolutely right. As you said, he's on a good run. He got that win, then he got a draw 2 weeks later. Then his last fight, which was the one after that, 2 weeks ago in Liverpool, he lost 39-38. So when you translate those scores, I don't want to be unkind to either of the opponents there, but when you're the away fighter, if you get a draw, you probably feel you've won. If you lose 39-38, you probably feel you've at least drawn. So he is on a good run of form.
And maybe with him talking about him maybe coming to the end, maybe it being his last season, maybe he's decided to go out and try and turn some of these kids over. You know, he's carried a lot of these through a lot of rounds, hasn't he? And maybe Louis is just looking to go out with a little bit of a bang. Certainly letting his hands go a little bit when he gets the opportunity here, isn't he? Yeah,
he is. Look for an overhand right there. He's found the body a couple of times. Cousins has got to use that spidery reach, shoot that jab, and catch him on the way in, keep him off.
It looks like he's having to work quite hard, Brad Cousins, at the moment. You know, he's just take it down a notch, couldn't he? Just throw a few less punches, maybe just a little bit more weight behind them. It's just a little bit frantic for that first 90 seconds.
Just weaving off to his left-hand side and then exploding up with a hook there, Cousins. He looks to me like he's got a pretty respectable jab when he throws it. Just needs to stick that out, as he did there. Some decent body work there from Van Poetsch. lead left uppercut.
Yeah, he slipped his head, stepped inside and let it go, didn't he? It was a beautiful little shot. You do need to get the respect, don't you? As soon as these guys feel any kind of foothold from any little bit of window of opportunity, they will try and expose you. It's so important, the opening round against a journeyman like Louis.
He's looking for the uppercut on the inside there, Van Poetsch. He found good distance there, though, Cousins. Just chopping down with that right hand. But a good first round, this.
Yeah, really entertaining. As we said, Andy, in the first fight, you never know what you're going to get, do you? And we had a little bit of a give and take round between Louis Van Poetsch and Bradley Cousins there. Excellent crowd building up already here at Doncaster, isn't there?
It is. I do like coming to a race course. I did a couple of cards at Aintree when David Price was topping the bill. That's probably about 10 years ago now. Frank Maloney was promoting, and he had the drummers and everybody welcoming him into the ring, and Price was absolutely flying at that point. He was
that Sam Sexton?
Yes, it was. Yeah. It was one of those cards that Darren Hamilton beat Ashley Theophane and legged it out of the ring in pure elation at coming in at, 6-7 days notice and winning the title. I've been to Epsom for a card as well, and it's just a good feel to race course. It's just you go and have a wander around. I always think they're two sports with kind of a lot in common, really. They attract a very sort of diverse crowd. You find people who are into boxing, who are into racing, who you never would necessarily have expected it. And then fighters and jockeys, a lot of them, well, almost all of them spend their whole careers obsessed with their weight. It used to be the stable lads boxing competition. It's just a bit of a link I've always found really interesting.
And a lot of the fans make a full day of it as well, Andy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Van Poetsch is trying to launch into a lead left hook there, throws another one, but the right glove was up there for Cousins.
He just gave us a little wink at the end of the first round, Van Poetsch. I wonder if he just really fancies this. He's certainly come out on the front foot, hasn't he? Takes an uppercut and a left hook there from Cousins, but he's definitely letting his hands go, Louis. Van Poetsch, I think he feels like there's something for him here tonight.
Cousins' most effective punches are when he's at that middle distance, when he throws those hooks and kind of shorter left and right hands. He doesn't really make that much use of that height and the reach that comes with it. And it looks like he's happy just to kind of, at times, stand and have it with Van Poetsch here, which is good for us. It's good to watch. But it's maybe not quite how he should be going about this.
Yeah, the jab's the key, isn't it? We said at the very start, you can tell by the statures, well, the way we thought the fight would go. The jab's landing, but if he just put a little bit more weight behind, maybe tried to get Van Poetsch's respect from range, he'd be having a lot more success. As it is, Van Poetsch is pretty much walking through it, isn't he, at the moment?
Again, just leads off with a left hook there. Nice up jab from Van Poetsch.
That punch has worked well for Van Poetsch, the up jab. He's just slipping inside the jab and just using his own up jab.
That was a good combination there from Cousins. Just set his feet and just slung his hands down the middle. He does look nice and loose. Again, he just holds his feet there, and he's shown some decent upper body movement at times, just sticking out that jab a couple of times, and then gets his gloves up, and Van Poetsch is able just to come in and throw. What could be interesting when you watch fighters early, and he's 3-0, Cousins, and they can tend to be at times a little bit my turn, your turn.
Yeah.
He's a little bit like that.
He is, yeah. And when Van Poetsch comes, he seems to have one little tactic, his right uppercut, left hook. If that doesn't work, it's back out to range and wait for him to come in again. Right uppercut, left hook. Yeah, it's as you said, your goal, my goal.
Pulled back into the ropes there, though, Cousins, and avoided that shot. Did exactly the same thing there with that big overhand right. And there's that jab again.
It's learning phases, isn't it, Andy? One of the most difficult things to boxing for young fighters is phases. Knowing when to go again, knowing when to pull back. And maybe this is a perfect fight where, when Cousins has just established that jab for 10, 20 seconds, go again, and try and maybe get Van Poetsch on the back foot.
But it's a good watch. We're midway through it. Scheduled for 4. Where would you go with those first 2 rounds, do you think? There wasn't much in either of them, I didn't think.
No, I think it's, you use the cliche, it's what you like. Maybe Cousins had a little bit more control there. You know, he was moving away. He seemed to take a few less shots. Maybe Van Poetsch just pinched the first round.
Yeah, very possibly, very possibly. He looks good, Cousins, when he, as we've been saying, when he lets those hands go and he puts the punches together. He's got a nice fluidity about him. But given the height he is, it would be good to see that jab, see him really just stick that jab out nice and hard as Van Poetsch comes forward.
Yeah, I'd like to see maybe just a little bit less movement. You know, a little bit too frantic. Just ration his shots a little bit more weight, and really establish that jab. He can probably make it much easier.
So into the third, they're scheduled for 4. Brad Cousins from Doncaster, he's in the black and gold. Louis Van Poetsch, legend of the away corner, in the white and orange.
Landed that little up jab, a little stiff jab 3 or 4 times already in this round, Van Poetsch. He could do with finding a way to stop that, Cousins.
It's a good start to the round, this, from Van Poetsch. He's dictating terms here. Just taking that space, stepping forward, looking for that jab, looking to try and go down to the body.
Nice right hook behind the elbow.
Cousins with the mouth hanging open a little bit. He's maybe feeling this a touch because, as I say, 3-4 rounders up until now. An eventful fight in his previous one, but I didn't see it. So I don't know to what extent he was really tested, although he did lose a couple of rounds by the look of the scorecard. He's been made to work hard here.
He did. He was working hard from the opening bell. You know, he was lots of punches, lots of movement. Van Poetsch was just soaking it up and walking him down, and it just seems like the tide's turned now, doesn't it? The punch output's dropped, but not in the way we were talking about. He's not really putting a stiff jab out. He's just stopped throwing it. So he's got to keep that jab coming, Cousins. But so far the output's just dropped. He takes a nice right hand there as well.
That was off the back of a couple of jabs. He got his feet nice and close through the right hand. Did the same thing again there. Led off with the uppercut. Looks for the big overhand right there, and Cousins just avoided that one. But there's just not enough coming back from him at the minute. There's that jab again, and he's gone straight through the guard. Left hand into the body. Final minute of round 3, and this is a Van Poetsch round.
It is a
comfortably.
He's just finding a home for that jab, isn't he? I wonder if, well, Van Poetsch is wise enough and experienced enough to know if he doubles that up, the right hand's going to be there, isn't it? I wonder if we may see him do that in the final round, because he's finding a home for the jab every single time now. Just got those feet a couple of inches closer. The right hand's going to be there on the end of it.
You just see the confidence grow, don't you? The up jab lands, and now he's taking the feet that bit closer, and he's turning it into an uppercut, a lead uppercut. Trying to come back with a right hand there, Cousins. Bell goes to the end of the third. Well, this is set up nicely, because I don't think there's any doubt that the blue corner won that round. The first couple, second round, red corner, first round, either way.
Yeah, it could be 2 on either way, couldn't it? All to fight for. And the one thing Bradley Cousins definitely can't do is get on his back foot and skate around and look to nick the round. You know, he can't be leaving anything to the scoring referee here. And Van Poetsch, we know exactly what he's going to do. Van Poetsch is going to go for this. Nice test, isn't it, though, having to work this hard and have a little bit of a scare so early on in your career. If you can come through it, what a couple of tech checks you can put in the experience boxes there.
This is what it's about, isn't it? And this is why people like Poetsch, Louis Van Poetsch, are so valued within the sport, because throughout the course of a career in that away corner, him and others like him will do this to countless prospects early in their career, and it is a big test. There's that jab. He throws that jab just as Van Poetsch was trying to get off with that up jab, lead uppercut. And that's what he needs to do. He's got to hit him with that jab. It doesn't really even matter if he hits him clean with it, just enough to offset him, make him start again.
Yeah, he really got into a rolling rhythm, Van Poetsch, in the third round, didn't he? Once he got into it, Cousins had a very, very difficult job trying to get him out of it. So if Cousins can just establish himself first in this fourth round, it'll suit him well.
Fires off with the hook, but just there he allows Van Poetsch to walk in on him, and as he's walking in on him, he's got to be throwing that lead jab.
That was that
hand.
phase again, wasn't it? He landed and then he backed away and get Van Poetsch momentum to come forward. If he could have just stopped that jab then.
Just looking to grab hold a little bit there, Cousins, and the corner are just egging him on. They're trying to just get a bit more out of him here, Cousins, because he's got to work harder than this, I'm afraid. We've got a couple of minutes remaining here, and Van Poetsch will be able to put his foot on the gas. I think he's got plenty left here. Left hand to the body, just chases him with a left hand up top, tries to bomb a big right hand round the back of the guard.
Yeah, that internal clock will be ticking in Van Poetsch's head, won't it? Now he'll know exactly how long he's got left and exactly how much he's got in the tank. Beautiful little slip left uppercut there. That's been a great weapon for Louis Van Poetsch tonight, hasn't it? Just slipping. Whenever Cousins has let the intensity of that jab just drop, Poetsch has slipped inside it and let the uppercut or the up jab go.
Again, went with the right to the body, looked for the uppercut, didn't miss by much, just past the halfway point of this fourth and final round, and Van Poetsch is working nice and hard. Straight right hand there from Cousins was decent, but it's Van Poetsch who's having the better of this fourth round so far. Again, just jabs up there and then rolls off to his right hand side.
It's Van Poetsch is filling the gaps better between the action, isn't he? You know, when they separate in between the little bits of action, it's Van Poetsch that's filling those in. Even if the shots aren't landing, he's the man looking the more active, looking the busier.
Good left hook there from Van Poetsch. That landed, then looks for that right hand over the top. It was half blocked, but that's the perfect description of what's happening here. He's filling in those gaps. Right hand there from Cousins, almost found the target, didn't quite. So into the last 20 seconds or so. He has a look towards the corner there. Van Poetsch looks to try and climb into another left hand. Slipping and rolling on his way in. Long right hand there from Cousins, and Van Poetsch looking to finish strong here. Bell goes at the end of the 4 rounds. While from where we're sitting, we make rounds 3 and 4 blue corner rounds, I would say indisputably.
Indisputably, and it's however you score round 1 for me, and I thought Van Poetsch just nicked it, so I've got Van Poetsch taking that 3 rounds to 1.
It was a good fight, it was a good watch. And he made Cousins work real hard there. Look at him up in the corner there on the right-hand side. And if he does get handed a defeat or a draw here, it's not fatal. He just needs to go back to the gym and have a look at what happened. And he felt the pace, didn't he? He was made to work really hard there, as you said, from the beginning by Van Poetsch. And it wasn't like he didn't try and stay with it. He did try and stay with it, but I'd imagine he just hasn't really been in that situation before.
And you can learn so much, mate. He learned that his jab's a weapon. He just didn't use it properly. He learned that if you let a shorter man like that get inside, you're going to have problems because of the build and stuff. Brad Cousins needs to keep the fight at a distance, and whichever ways it goes, there's plenty of lessons to learn from that.
And 4 rounds of action, we go to referee Reese Carter's scorecard. He scores the contest at 39 points to 37 points in favour of your winner. From Lydney, Gloucestershire, Lewis Poetsch Van Poetsch!
Well, he is still on the roll because that is 2 wins, a draw and a defeat in his last 4 fights. And if the cards had been a little bit kinder, we could be talking about a 4th consecutive win here for Louis Van Poetsch, and he absolutely deserved that. 3-1 on the referee's scorecard, which we made a correct score, an absolutely correct score.
Yeah, it's thoroughly deserved, and I know he's got a few fights booked in on Box right now. There may be a few trainers just looking at that, wondering if their little charge is quite ready for the Louis Van Poetsch test, because he looked like a real handful there, didn't he, for any aspiring super middleweight?
I think that's the problem, isn't it? The phone can stop ringing, can't it? All of a sudden, people can find excuses not to fight you.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.